Hello, everybody. Did you just really?
Oh, was it that loud? Oh, will allow us to open with a plug. If you're interested, V8, I'm consuming yet another one of your V8 Plus Energy Pomegranate Blueberry juice drinks.
Great. Fantastic.
They're delicious. And also non-alcoholic.
I mean, that can be alcohol. Yeah, so hello, everybody. Welcome to We'll Do It Live, a new podcast that is coming out from me, Zach, and my co-host, Shayne. It's a podcast where, fuck it, we'll do it live. We're going to talk about movies coming out, movies in the past. We're going to answer questions from our chat and Twitch. Last time we did this, people were throwing out, like, which movie character would beat another movie character. So if you want to join this, you can follow us at our Twitch channels, which will be underneath wherever you're viewing this or listening to this on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can contribute to the conversation we're having. And then we're going to wrap it all off with the actual meat of the podcast, like the main idea when we started, which is Shayne and I, with all of our film knowledge, which is our abundance of knowledge. If you can't tell, that's a lot of sarcasm right there. We will be coming up with a sequel, prequel, or remake of the movie of the week. The chat decides if it is a sequel, prequel, or remake, and you also decide what genre it is. So we're doing Iron Man this week, so by the end of this episode, we could be doing a sequel to Iron Man that's a musical. That's up to you. That's up to the chat. But anyway, that's the podcast. This is the first episode. And get ready for the chaos. We have another podcast together, and it divulges into nonsense very quick, so get ready for that. Hi, Shayne. How's it going?
So good. Our first official live podcast.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad we don't do the other one live.
Yeah, that one actually requires, like,
yeah.
formula.
Dude, it's so, I'm like looking out my window right now, and it's cold. It's cold, but it also like is the perfect opportunity to just like watch movies all day, which I did yesterday because of the cold and the snow. So it was great. Talking about movies and stuff. Let's talk about what's going on with like current movies coming out, current trailers. I know the pandemic's really messed things up, like with what's being released, but we're still getting some movies this year. Specifically, before I started my stream, did you know they're making a Jackass 4?
No.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I love the Jackass movies. I was actually thinking about Jackass recently because Weezer released a new album, and those two are weirdly combined, which Weezer's new album is actually pretty good. It's Okay Human, pretty good. But anyway, I just got hit with this weird nostalgia thing of there's this like feeling that I feel like a lot of people in our generation have, this like event that a lot of people younger than us don't have, and that's like playing Halo 2, Halo 1 until midnight, turning on Comedy Central, having ads for like softcore porn, and then watching Jackass till like 4 a.m. Like,
yeah, that was my reality.
That's just like such a big known feeling. That is in essence something that I have experienced many times, and I kind of long for. It's weird. Like
those late summer nights playing Modern Warfare.
Yeah, and just Comedy Central, like as soon as midnight happened, you had Girls Gone Wild ads for some stupid reason.
Turned like you were on another planet after like 12 o'clock on a Saturday. It turned into Cinemax, and you were like, "Oh Jesus! Wait, I'm not even 18. This is bananas."
Exactly, and then it's like, "Hey, this is Johnny Knoxville, and this is Jackass," and you're watching someone in a porta potty going down a hill on a skateboard. So that's just crazy. Like, it's been a crazy week with that. Like, the last month, my 3 favorite albums that have come out have been a Killers album, a Strokes album, and a Weezer album. It's 2021, but it feels like it's 2006.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good year to focus on people's nostalgia.
Yes.
You know, after a year of just like
that
downs and what have you, now in 2021, it's like there is nothing that will induce an overflow of, you know, dopamine than
Absolutely.
nostalgia.
Thank you for that follow. Too Swole to
And,
Control.
you know,
Welcome to the farm.
why not? Jackass, Weezer. Now they'll release a new line of Furbies. It'll be great.
We get our Tamagotchis back. Beyblades are. Oh God, I would love for Beyblades to come back. So what was I about to say? So yeah, Jackass Force. I saw that Bam Margera is not gonna be in it though, which is
Okay.
and I know like Dunn is unfortunately passed away. A couple of them have, so it's gonna be interesting. I don't even. Was Jackass 3 the one where they went to Japan, or was that 2?
No,
or was that 1?
First one. The second one they went to India. The third one was like America, I think. They just like ramped it up with 3D cameras and dildos.
That is true. That is true. That it's gonna be interesting. It's also like the whole like Jackass pipeline to like the stupid YouTube prank channels is like there, but I feel like there's a disconnect. I feel like Jackass they're really only fucking with themselves. Like that's the one thing prank channels don't understand. I feel like or never got like that crossover is like Jackass. They were doing stupid shit to themselves. Prank channels, you're being a dick to other people. That's not cool.
Man, yeah, those guys kind of upset me.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Someone like rolled up on me and was like, and they like took my phone.
Yeah, I would be fucking pissed.
Might just like run them over with my car.
Right? Yeah.
That's a joke, YouTube.
Parody. That was a parody. We're protected by parody. I'd parody someone with my car. It's easy. But yeah, so I saw like that's like the first thing that popped up was like Jackass 4. I mean the article was Bam Margera's not going to be in Jackass 4, and that was like, oh shit, there's a Jackass 4. Which was cool. Man,
I didn't even realize that was a thing. I've just been so focused on not a movie but a show, and we're gonna get there, so we might as well get there now. Can we talk about Pedro Pascal? Getting cast as Joel from The Last of Us.
Yeah, I actually did want to talk about that. So what do you think the storyline is going to be?
From what I understand, it's going to focus on like the idea behind the first game.
Okay, so it's going to be. Do you think it's going to be in between the first and the second? Because, excuse me, there. I like think The Last of Us is like a perfect example of storytelling in a video game. So it's going to be interesting putting that into an actual TV format. Right.
From what I was reading, it's either going to be like a retelling of the first game or possibly like a lead up to it. But I know for sure Joel and Ellie are both going to be in it. They also cast, oh my gosh, I think it's Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. I'm not sure.
I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Me neither, but I think that's actually.
Oh God, we're doing a pop culture podcast, and neither of us have seen
Game
of Thrones.
Holy shit, I was right.
Hell yeah, nice. We're gonna get like killed.
Arya Stark.
We're gonna get parodied
by Macy Williams. So she.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know who that is.
Ellie in The Last of Us.
Damn.
So that'll be kind of interesting.
Who's making it? Is that HBO?
Yeah.
Okay, then like that's the thing about HBO. Like HBO signs onto it, it's going to be good. Like just there's a hard equation. Like I don't think I've watched anything from HBO that like I've been disappointed in.
I mean, yeah, I guess when it comes to like movies and shows, I can agree. But like there are some things that we don't have to get into all that.
That's fair.
I have some opinions on some other stuff about HBO, but I will agree overall. Taxi Cab Confessions is the greatest show of all time. No, I'm just
Is that
kidding.
on HBO?
Yeah, I mean,
I agree with that. Taxi Cab.
I'm just kidding, but I do enjoy a fair amount of HBO media. True Detective is one of my all-time.
I mean, True Detective is great. The Leftovers is probably one of my favorite shows. Doom Patrol is also fantastic. But that's more of a DC thing.
I am excited about The Last of Us. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be really cool. I really like Pedro Pascal, but I wanted to throw it out to you, to everybody listening, who would you cast as Joel and Ellie instead of Macy Williams and Pedro Pascal?
See, I don't even know. I don't know actors. That's a Pedro Pascal's blowing up. I would say if you were gonna do more of a Last of Us 2, I think like Harrison Ford. Like old.
Yeah.
Old
Yeah.
Joel would probably be good.
Hear me out. I
Yeah.
don't even know what other movies this dude's been in, but he's pretty rad. He was in this movie, The Silencing, that I saw recently.
Okay.
His name is Nicola Coaster.
Let me look that up.
Nicola Coaster Waldu. Okay, he was also in Game of Thrones, of course.
Oh, I think I know who that is. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the first person that came to mind when I was like, who else?
He kind of looks like that person that's like, I want to say like was a comedian, like a Brooklyn comedian, and then like does a bunch of firefighter shows. I'll let me figure this out. Dennis. Firefighter shows.
Dennis Hopper? No, that's not who you're talking about.
No.
I don't know. I'm talking about like.
Oh God, he has like a very New York accent. Very. Dude, if I typed in firefighter show, says his picture shows up immediately. Let me go to
Rob Lowe.
No, I know who Rob Lowe is. I should know who this is too. Troy Baker, Blue says in chat. I agree. Troy Baker also kind of looks like Joel.
Troy Baker, wasn't he the voice of?
Yeah, Dennis Leary.
Joel? Dennis Leary, yeah, he was in one firefighter show.
Dude, that's all I know him from is Rescue. But he was in it for like 7 years.
Wasn't Troy Baker the voice of?
Yeah,
Joel?
yes, Troy Baker, yes, is the voice of Joel.
He actually endorsed Pedro Pascal for this. He was on like Twitter or whatever, like rah rah, Pedro will do great.
Nice.
So.
Hell yeah.
At least I think so. I don't want to misquote the dude.
No, I think Pedro's cool. Pedro's popping off. He's in everything now.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
I'm excited. It'll be cool.
It'll be cool.
But yeah, I wanted to open that one up. If anybody has any cool answers or ideas for that, just hit them in the chat or go to the Discord, which can be found below.
Exactly. So, okay, let me pull this back up. What else is happening? 20th anniversary of Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter this year.
Yeah. And HBO is also making a new Lord of the Rings thing.
I think it's Amazon.
Amazon is doing it? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Amazon creating it.
I know that is a thing that's going to exist.
Yeah. Which I don't know if they're going. I think they're doing more like the Silmarillion type stuff, which I've tried to read multiple times. But there's a lot that's boring. But like, it's obviously it's going to be more exciting on TV. But like, it's kind of boring.
Can you see it? I can actually see the Silmarillion on my bookshelf from here.
Can you? Have you tried to read it?
Yeah, it's basically just like a fucking reference book.
It really is. It's like the encyclopedia of Lord of the Rings stuff. Like,
yeah, if you want to learn a lot about Middle Earth, read the Silmarillion. If you want a story, read Lord of the Rings.
If you want to be confused for like 30 pages because there's 10 different elves with similar sounding names all doing different things.
Yep.
Yeah. What else is going on? I'm just looking at r/movies, honestly, for the last week. Jack Black to play Claptrap.
In a Borderlands movie. That'll be
that's a garage. There we still movie. That video game movies. Actually, we could talk about in general.
Claptrap movie, or is
it's just a Borderlands movie? I know some other big names are attached to that property. I can't remember who. I think Kevin Hart. I think it's pretty much almost like they took the cast of Jumanji and are making.
Oh, great! The Rock.
Borderlands. I mean, he would be a good Ronald. You know, what's the character's name?
Roland.
Roland. Thank you, Ronald.
That took me a second.
Yeah, Roland.
When you look through the footage, it's gonna look like I'm like judging you, but I'm not.
No, it's okay. Judge me all the time.
It's like Ronald. And
it's weird. So, like, we just talked about 2 video game movies, television shows. historically, they're not great.
Oh, we have the Sonic the Hedgehog sequel got announced too.
Yeah, another video game. Historically, video game movies are not great, except for some exceptions, like Doom, which is still bad, but it's a good bad.
Why'd you open with that? Come on.
Silent Hill, still a good bad. Oh God, what's a good one?
Give me a second.
Yeah, this is.
I don't want to Google. I just want to like think on it.
Oh, I'm Googling because I can't. My memory's garbage. The Super Mario Bros. Movie was a bad example.
That movie is terrible, but an awesome.
Good bad.
Memory.
It's good bad.
On the note of nostalgia, like that is a nostalgic movie for me. Dennis Hopper is the Koopa King with like his weird fucking spike dermal implants. That was wild.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude, Super Mario Bros. Is a trip. There was Doom.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat's also a good bad though. Like,
also, they're supposed to make a Mortal Kombat movie, like
which I've seen some of the leaks where that is good. I'll say Silent Hill 2006 is pretty good. Not the best graphics, but still pretty good.
I guilty pleasure, dude. I like the Resident Evil movies. Some of them. Not all of them.
They're good. They're
some of them.
Yeah, I'd say the first Resident Evil.
I wouldn't sit down and watch all 13 of them, but
Detective Pikachu I never saw, but people said it was good. But I guess wait, Tekken had a game?
Ironically, I heard good things about Sonic as well after they redid everything.
Yeah, and he doesn't have that weird monster teeth.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, the original. If anyone listening hasn't seen them, just Google Sonic the Hedgehog, original concept.
Absolutely. Angry Pigs was amazing. I never saw the Angry. See, okay, so right now, from what I just proved, as I said, there was good video game movies. I did not list a single one. So.
Yeah, but they exist.
They exist, so there are out there. But it's interesting now that we're seeing a Borderlands movie, a Last of Us television show. We have Sonic, Uncharted, Witcher. The Witcher was good. But that's like, I'm not counting The Witcher because The Witcher's is based off of novels.
That's true, and it is known that the show is based more off the source material.
Right. Yeah, Detective Pikachu I heard was good, but like, I mean, most Pokemon movies are very good, and I guess like, what came first, the game or the anime? I don't know.
Pokemon?
Yeah.
The anime, I'm almost certain.
Okay, well then that's, but then I guess.
And the card game.
But anyway, back to what I was saying. 2021, we're getting Borderlands, Last of Us, Uncharted, Sonic. So. It's interesting. I think we are talking about Iron Man today. I think that those two play into each other. I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is really opening up people wanting to try other versions of pop culture to create movies from.
That's also about to be banging. Like the MCU's about to be.
Yeah, they're about to. Yeah, you can definitely raid me. Also, thank you for asking. Hello. Yeah, I agree. He's like, what, Disney Plus? We're getting one new thing every week, which is crazy. Like, we're getting a new. Yeah, like it's WandaVision, then Winter Soldier, and then.
Oh yeah, that's coming very soon. Winter Soldier.
What If? March. And then Loki. Like, we're getting them all in order. It's crazy.
It's good. Is What If? Does that tie in any way to like the actual like canonical like?
I don't think so. But actually, I don't know. I'd be surprised at this point. I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be. Should I say I wouldn't be surprised? I wouldn't be surprised at all. Let's get. We're talking. I muted myself in Discord for some dumb reason. When I was about to talk again. Yeah.
We were talking about movies based on video games.
Yeah.
But what about like just movies based on video games? Not a video game, such as but not limited to
Ready Player
One, which I just recently watched and it was amazing. It blew my mind. I thought it was really cool. great.
But that's like also like I agree. I liked Ready Player One. It's a really good popcorn blockbuster film. I think it's a lot of fun. But that's also kind of an exception because that was a book first.
That's true, but I mean, I'm not trying to say like it is video like about
right.
video game. It's just about.
But
video
it has
games.
like video games. That is true. I really enjoyed it. There are a couple of those. Like Ready
like
Player
the
One.
Gamer was
I forgot about
really
that movie.
campy.
Yeah.
But it was exciting.
Totally fine.
To
Have a
watch.
good night, Boo06. Thank
super,
you
like,
for coming in and
brutal.
following. I hope your night is good. Yeah, I forgot about that movie. That movie was like you said, brutal. It's for those who don't know, The Gamer is like about a dystopian world where it's like a battle royale, but like the people in the battle royale are real people. Like in prison, they're prisoners, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's crazy. We also have what is it? Free Guy coming out with Ryan Reynolds.
Free Guy. Yeah, that looks really charming.
It looks really funny. I mean, you can put Ryan Reynolds in most things and I'll watch it. Like I won't even say most things. Put Ryan Reynolds in it and I'll be compelled to watch it. He can lead a movie.
You want to talk about Green Lantern then?
Dude, I'll still watch it before Ryan Reynolds. I won't watch it for the Green Lanterns part. It sucks. But like Ryan Reynolds is still okay in it. He's still good in it. Like like the problem with Green Lantern is it's like a bad movie, but not even like a bad enough movie to want to watch it again for fun. It's just a bad movie. I guess if we're talking about DC, we can wrap this entire segment up about probably talking about one of the biggest. Well, like the news has been big, and I guess it's not even that big for a year now. Did you watch the new Zack Snyder Justice League trailer?
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh my god, I feel like DC. I feel like a lot of people feel like this. So for those who don't know, a little backstory of me: I collect comics. I like comics. I read comics. My collection is probably 80% DC, 10% indie, 10% Marvel. I really like DC comics. But God, those movies are always they excite me, and I'm ready to be let down. I'm ready to be let down. It looks good. It looks good. It looks.
I mean, the whole thing about it is, I mean, you know what? If people want to flame me on Twitter or whatever, that's fine. I don't think they will. The whole thing about it, I don't think they will. Justice League sucked.
Yeah, it did.
So
pretty much everything in the Snyderverse. I would say the first Wonder Woman was pretty great, and I liked Aquaman, even though a lot of even that's debatable if it's good. But
I think that you know, doing it in any other way,
yeah,
is gonna be better.
So I have a theory on DC movies, which how they can make it better. I know it's kind of a part of the podcast, so I'm going to talk about it. DC movies would be better if they followed the Joker formula. I'm not talking about everyone do edgy films like the Joker, but my favorite part of the DC universe are its smaller stories. DC saw the success of the MCU and tried to immediately jump into that. No, don't do that. You need to do things that make it more unique. I think if I was the DC Studios, again, I have no expertise here. I'm not a producer. Any of that. I need to put that up front. I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time. I think if DC really wanted to make great movies, they would find smaller directors, smaller indie directors, like in the horror field, in dramas, going out and reaching out to like the foreign audience. Looking for smaller directors. Don't do any more big budget movies. Don't do like $50 million, $100 million movies anymore. Do more things like The Joker, which you can do more indie style. You can put more heart into it. You can be darker. Do Constantine, but make it a horror film and give it to some. Horror movies are like known for being cheap to make, but I will argue some of the best films are horror films because you can be really creative with them. DC has the whole dark universe. Make Constantine, make Swamp Thing. I mean, these are my favorite books, but like tell these smaller stories. Tell more artistic, more indie. Don't try to be the MCU because you're not, because you got Zack Snyder to direct your films. Zack Snyder does not do comedy, does not do charming, which is what kind of makes the MCU. They're more poppy, more pop culture infused. Zack Snyder made 300 and Watchmen before he was given the DCU.
Right.
Like, don't be gritty for the sake of gritty. And I know they had success with the Nolan trilogy, but again, those were an original take on Batman. And separate stories. That's my whole thing. I don't know. And also, it's like a 4 hours long. That's a long movie.
Yeah, this one is 4 hours long?
Yeah, the new...
Thank goodness.
It's 4 hours long.
Thank goodness.
And it's 4 hours long. Well, first they said they were going to break it up into, like, episodes, which, okay, that might get my attention more. But now they're saying, like, it's just 4 hours, and it's like... Okay, that's a lot of movies. I watched 8 hours of movies yesterday, though, so I can't really talk.
The pacing of Justice League was kind of wild. So,
Yeah.
like, I think, taking their time with it, giving a bit more exposition could be good.
Absolutely, I agree. We'll see. I don't know when it's coming out. I feel like it's been coming out for a very long time. But
yeah, I've been anticipating it for 8 months.
Yeah.
And I tried to watch it like 3 months ago on a free subscription to HBO Max, only to find out that it wasn't there. So that was sweet.
Yeah. All right. Do we have anything else? Any other news that's coming out? I'm like looking through all these articles and seeing.
I'm sure there's a bunch.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is coming in April. Wait, coming April 2022. I haven't seen the first one. Bam Margera won't be in Jackass 4. We talked about that. Something about.
I just tried to, I came into this with the thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking. It's been a weird week. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. Not really. All right. So this part, because this is the first episode, we're still trying to figure out the segues and stuff. This part of the podcast, the viewing, whatever the hell, if you're watching us live, I guess it's not really a podcast if you're watching it live, is where we're going to kind of open it up to the chat. Last week we kind of did, who do you think would win in a fight, blah, blah, versus blah. If chat has any questions, we probably won't answer all of them, but shoot them. Let's talk movies. How many Mission Impossibles are there? Holy shit.
17, 18. No, I think actually there's like 6 or 7.
Yeah. They're filming 7 and 8 right now.
7 and 8?
7 and 8.
Filming those movies.
Yeah, maybe he wants to at this point.
That's just written into the end of the 8th movie, like Tom Cruise and Ethan.
And why can't men accept that Fight Club is gay? I think that's just a general thing. I think people think Fight Club is a lot shallower than it actually is. That's my answer to that question. I don't think it's just a men thing. I think it's a general consensus. Well, that's with most movies. Anything made with mainstream, like Fight Club, you're not going to get a lot of deep analysis. What movie has the best music? That's a good question.
In my opinion,
go for it.
Probably Interstellar. It just makes me feel all kinds of ways.
Interstellar is good.
And it honestly has nothing to do with the film. It's just like, it's where the score is used with what is going on and the way that the score is used to like convey what's happening, like the way that the ticking clock is made as part of the score in the water planet scene.
Yeah,
it's just like, it just gets me every time.
I would probably have to say Mandy. Johansson.
I haven't seen Mandy.
Yeah, honestly, I would say my two choices here are by the same person who made the music. It'd either be Mandy or Arrival, both Johansson. I think, unfortunately, he passed away, I think a year or two ago. But honestly, I don't think there was a composer out there who could match what he could do to a film. Like, I think Arrival and Mandy are both great films, but I think the soundtracks are what make them absolutely fantastic, spectacular pieces.
I haven't seen either of those movies.
Dude, you need to see.
Time to get to work, Shane.
I agree. Animal People, Lord of the Rings music is absolutely amazing.
Oh, astounding. I mean, there's so many wonderful, beautiful scores. I mean, you know.
What do you think is the worst?
The worst? Oh, man.
I'm trying to think.
Dude, when you ask me anything of, like, what is the worst of this thing in film, it's just like, there has been so many terrible, terrible movies made.
I think Catwoman. There's just that one scene with like 1 billion cuts. Just most things about the Catwoman movie are bad, but I feel like I remember the soundtrack being pretty not great.
Anytime I'm like watching a thing and there's like a bunch of cuts, it's so jarring.
Yeah, that's my least favorite thing.
I don't know what would be the worst.
I asked that question. I don't even know the answer. I just think. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I've just seen like so many bad movies, and there's just so many like movies that exist.
I've not seen The Greatest Showman, but I heard like the final product is good, but the original music was rough. That's something I never saw that. I mean, I really like Les Mis, but like there's some people who shouldn't sing in that movie. Like Gerard Butler.
Did Cats ever come out?
Cats came out.
All right. Any opinions on Cats? Because I don't want to give mine because I never saw it, but I heard it was terrible.
I mean, I think that's just the general thought. I've never saw it either. I really want to see it. That's a movie I actually really want to see, but I've not seen it. Terrible. I mean, yeah, it's just that's uncanny valley. I don't know. It is.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. I can't comment on it. I haven't seen it.
If you put Idris Elba in a cat suit in front of me, like I'm not gonna be able to like suspend my disbelief for 2.5 hours.
I don't even think like if they would have gone the route with like the actual Cats play and actually wore the costuming, I think it would be a different thing. But they made those abomination of cat CGI, which is terrifying. Okay. Let's see. Terrible, but still original songs. But yeah, memories.
Here's a sick fact: Princess Bride scores written by Mark.
I don't even know who that is.
What? Come here, Google.
Oh, from Dire Straits?
Whoa.
What the? I did not. That is a sick fact, actually.
It's pretty rad.
Okay, so the Princess Bride score was written by the guy from Dire Straits. That's sweet. I had a question. I forgot what I was going to ask. I was thinking about it for a very long time. Oh, if you were going to make a video game movie, I'm going to open this up to anyone. If you were going to make a video game movie, what video game would you do? Because we were talking about video game movies earlier, and I mean, we're on Twitch. Mass Effect would be such a great franchise. Agreed. 100%. Animal People. I like open up my Steam. See, honestly, I want to Persona 5 had an anime. Or Persona had an anime. So I guess that already kind of counts.
I lean on God of War all the time as an answer. But like it also plays like a movie.
It would make it would make a good anime about Persona 5. But that was what I was thinking about. Like, that is kind of something I wanted to bring up when we were talking about The Last of Us. I forgot, like, we're getting an Uncharted movie and a Last of Us movie. How far behind is God of War? Right.
I'm really excited for the Uncharted movie, especially if those images of Tom Holland were true.
Yeah.
Is that real? Is Tom Holland actually going to play Nathan Drake?
Yeah, that's confirmed. That's confirmed. That's absolutely 100% concerned.
I love
that. Dead Space.
Dead Space would be amazing.
A Dead Space movie, a horror film would be.
That could be really neat.
Finger kisses. Left 4 Dead also.
There is a Metal Gear Solid movie confirmed by Jordan Roberts, the guy
is there?
Kong Skull Island. Yeah.
Interesting.
He actually is like confirmed to take that on.
Interesting. Oh, okay. I keep now I'm remembering these things. This is why we talk, because my memory sucks. They're making a Twisted Metal series, and someone big
show.
I think show. I'm Twisted Metal. Someone big was just confirmed in it.
Interesting. Oh, Animal People, you're onto something. That would be unbelievable. Honestly, it'd be insane. It'd be really tough, but I'd be down.
I think Shadow Colossus into a decent movie if it was done not by a major studio, but more as in. If you took the actual like the thing, like everyone loves the big boss fights in Shadow of Colossus, but I think the atmosphere of the Shadow of Colossus is what makes the game great.
Yeah, I want Shadow of the Colossus by Guillermo del Toro.
Yes, that would be yes.
Filmed in the basement of my apartment. For $12.
Honestly, just give me more Del Toro. So okay.
Really? No, for real.
So I found it. Twisted Metal TV series gets Will Arnett as Sweet Tooth.
What?
Yeah, that made me excited. I like Will.
Is this a cartoon or something?
I don't know, but maybe we haven't got a Twisted Metal game in a very long time.
Because the last time I saw Sweet Tooth, he was fucking jacked, and the last time I saw Will Arnett, he was dressed like a magician.
It's by Sony Pictures, so that means it could be animated.
Interesting. Well, if they've that, it'll probably be really good if it's by Sony Pictures, because that means like they're putting their name on the line for their product, so they'll try really hard to make it good. Yeah. I think the Resident Evil like animated movies were pretty sweet.
Yeah, I don't know. This article is comparing Twisted Metal to Crank.
Oh man.
Which I mean, Speed. That would also.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Alfonso, I agree with that. Animal People throw video games at Alfonso Cuarón. I can't say his name. Cuarón. Cool. For those who don't know, he did.
Gravity is such a good movie.
Yeah, and Children of Men is also some of the greatest cinematography the last 20 years.
I just want to see In the Mountains of Madness by Guillermo del Toro.
Dude, just give me anything. You don't know how disappointed I am that like Del Toro came to DC, and who I think Warner Brothers owns DC, with a Justice League Dark and a Dark Universe idea, and they shut him down. That makes me so sad. We could have seen a Del Toro Swamp Thing or a Del Toro Dead Man or Harry Constantine.
It's just over the last like year and a half, I've read more Lovecraft than ever in my life, and I just keep thinking that like Del Toro should make a movie out of. I mean.
Did you watch The Color Out of Space with me?
No.
That movie with Nick Cage.
But I want to.
Was like, actually much more Lovecraftian and much more creepy. Like it had some crazy body horror in it. It was actually good.
Cool.
How does it?
I want to see Color Out of Space. I want to see Mandy. They're on my
Mandy's
list.
so good. I actually have a Mandy T-shirt coming in the mail soon.
Nice.
That just says Mandy. Made me sick. It was a disgusting movie. But it also, Color Out of Space, I recommend to people, but just know, like, it gets disturbing and very body horror very quick. Like, and you kind of don't expect it. How does it... Okay, this is going to be the last question before we jump into this third part. How does it feel that the Mortal Kombat movie comes out in less than 2 months and they won't even show a trailer?
Feels like 1995 and the first Mortal Kombat's coming out again.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna suck. I feel like usually when movies don't put out anything before it actually comes out, it comes out not
especially
good.
Now when like the likelihood of it being able to drop in a theater is like pretty low, and if it does, like it's probably not gonna make that much money.
Yeah.
But who's the confirmed cast on the new Mortal Kombat movies? Anybody know?
I remember liking who was Sub-Zero, but I can't remember. Mortal Kombat. I didn't even know that they haven't even released a trailer. That is bad. It's an R-rated reboot. Okay.
When I look up new Mortal Kombat movie, oh, there is a new trailer. No, not a trailer. Just a. Wait.
I don't like that it has like 7 screenwriters. I don't like that. I don't like when if movies have a lot of screenwriters. That's not good. Let's see who's the director of Mortal Kombat? What has he done?
Simon McQuaid.
He hasn't done anything. Literally, he has not directed anything other than a video short. Oh God.
Who do we got here? Josh Lawson, Jessica McNamee. That sounds familiar. Where are you from?
He directed a bunch of. Okay, so I guess I can't give this guy too much shit. He directed a bunch of commercials, and Ripley's like, you can't shit on someone from directing a bunch of commercials and then making a movie, because Ripley Scott went from directing a bunch of commercials to making Alien.
Right.
And Blade Runner. So, like, people who film commercials know how to get. Okay, well, I would say Ripley Scott used his ability to film commercials to make Alien and Blade Runner a very good dissection of super consumerism and stuff. I don't know how commercials will play into Mortal Kombat, though. Yeah, I don't think the guy's the next Ridley Scott either. I agree with that.
Based on names, I did not know a single person in this show. I had to actually explore this guy who you said that you liked, the Sub-Zero guy, Joe Taslim, in the new Mortal Kombat movie. The only thing I even know him from is The Raid. Redemption.
Well, I mean, the Raid has some of the best action.
Yeah, no, it's great. And as soon as I saw his face, I was like, all right, yeah, this guy will be cool. He was also in one of the Fast and Furious movies. Speaking of which, we should have hit that in the first one. Did you see there's a new trailer for the new Fast and Furious?
I refuse.
Guess who's in it?
Everybody.
Dude,
everybody. Guess. Literally anyone in Hollywood at this point. Who? Post Malone? I don't know.
John Cena!
Of course he fucking is. Fast and Furious 7 is still one of the greatest movies of all time. I hate every other one.
Oh, man. When I saw that fucking trailer, I lost my mind when I saw it.
I'll have to watch it. James Wan is producing the Mortal Kombat. I mean, producing doesn't really mean too much, but, like, James Wan's a pretty damn good director. He directed Furious 7, which I was just talking about. But he also Is
that the one where they jump a tank across a bridge?
Yeah, it's the one where also The Rock flexes out of the fucking
Daddy's gotta go to work.
Exactly. So if you've not seen Furious 7, it is a parody of itself at that point. The Rock is in the hospital, he has a cast on his arm. The city is being blown up by, like, drones or something. So he's in a cast. He flexes the cast off, says Daddy has to go to work. Next scene we see him in is probably like 20 minutes throughout the movie. A drone gets taken down, and he grabs the Gatling gun off of the drone and just walks around with it for the rest of the movie.
Fucking shoots a helicopter down with it.
So, and for people who don't know who James Wan is, he is the person who made Saw 1, which I'm not a big fan of the Saw series, but Saw 1 is still a great movie for someone who came out of nowhere. Saw, the first one, is a fantastic example of good, low-budget horror movies that can bring original ideas.
Yeah, I agree completely. I did very much like the Saw. Well, the Saw franchise was fun to watch, but they weren't exactly good movies.
No, but yeah, exactly. I don't like torture movies.
Right. It is basically like that.
Not my favorite type of horror. All right, so let's jump to the last part of this show, the main part of We'll Do It Live, which is the part which this is the idea of the podcast, where Shane and I were sitting around, I think, theorizing what Marvel comics we would want to see movies of, and we were talking like, wow, it's cool coming up with movies, so let's make a podcast about it. So, we have to talk about the movie we did this week. There is an outline, I promise you, there is structure. So this week's episode, the first episode, because this idea came from the Marvel Universe, and Shane and I playing video games and just talking about all the different theorizing we had of what would make a good movie and all that stuff. We decided to start this all off with the 2008 MCU starter. I mean, the Hulk is first, but is the Hulk first?
I think, but I don't know.
But it's weird. The Hulk is weird in the MCU. We were talking about the 2008 Iron Man movie. I have not seen this movie probably since 2008. Shane?
It came out the same year.
They did.
I have seen this movie probably 150 times since 2008.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. You've only seen this is your second time watching
Well,
it.
no, I probably watched it like 7 times in 2008. It's not. So I've probably seen this movie. Okay. I wouldn't. Okay, I'll probably watch it again like early 2010s. But even then, it's probably been like at least 7 to 8 years between the last time I've seen the first Iron Man and now.
I love it. It's going to be hard. It was really difficult to watch it critically because, like we were talking about in the beginning of all this, nostalgia is a powerful thing.
It is.
And,
it completely is.
Into it, knowing the end result and knowing where everything goes and knowing what just this movie means.
Right. It's hard to remove it from that. I agree. Like when I was watching it, I was like, okay, I have to remove what comes after it because the explosion of superhero movies that come after Iron Man. But that being said, without nostalgia removed, I think Iron Man is the best origin movie to come out of the MCU. The only one that I think would be better, in my opinion, is Guardians of the Galaxy.
I completely agree.
I think last night I watched Iron Man, then I watched Infinity War, then I watched Captain Marvel, then I watched Endgame. All 4 of those movies yesterday after watching Iron Man.
So thank goodness we only have to talk.
Because
I said thank goodness we only have to talk about Iron Man because I really like 3 of those movies.
Dude, I gotta say, I think people give Captain Marvel shit for the wrong reasons. Like, people say it's corny and stuff. I'm guessing that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
To that opinion, the fucking Marvel universe is corny as shit. I actually pretty much enjoyed Captain Marvel because if anyone's looking at Marvel movies as not cheesy, even like or Iron Man, then you're looking at the movies wrong.
Yeah, so it's not because it's cheesy necessarily. I have some opinions of things about that movie that are like removed from the context of the film. Objectively, it's pretty cool. I think it's funny and clever, and it's got some cool CGI and fight scenes. The only part that really kind of upset me was that there had been like 10 years of lead up to this point for us to figure out what happened to Nick Fury's eye.
Dude, I actually love that part.
And then that was it. I was like, that whole time, like, seriously, 6 movies ago, he looked at Captain America in his face, and he said, last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye.
See, that's why I love that. It shows that Nick Fury, I
get that he's a liar and all that, and he's, like, the fucking ultimate spy and all that shit. Yeah, cool. But, like...
Dude, I agree to disagree. I think it's great. I think we've seen Fury do a lot of goofy ass shit.
True, but I mean, like, yeah.
I mean, the whole
you see him do enough awesome shit to where like that's kind of like an okay thing, I guess. But I mean, after hearing about it for fucking 10 years, all I wanted was for like a Skrull to like hold him down and take his eye out with like a biometric scanner so that it could be Nick Fury. But no, he just gets clawed in the face. Spoiler alert.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about that, like, even in the comics, Nick Fury loses his eyes from a mine going off. Both times he loses it. It's not like he never had an exciting reason why he lost his eye.
I just want it.
I know, I get it. All right, but let's talk about Iron Man. So, like I said, I watched Iron Man, then I watched those 3 movies coming up. It just got me in the mood. I think, other than some pacing issues with Iron Man, I think it has some weird pacing. I still do think it is one of, if not the best origin story we have in the MCU, which there's a lot of them.
Yeah, no, I really like it. And, like, I tried to watch it objectively, you know, as best I could. And even still, I just think it's a really high-quality story. It gives me characters that I give a shit about. Granted, they're limited, but they make that pretty clear.
Yeah.
Through their dialogue. So, like, almost immediately, like, you're into the characters that you see.
Yeah.
And the story's pretty easy to grasp.
Yeah.
They kind of shove it in your face a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, it is an origin story. It should be pretty cut and dry.
Right. I mean, you can't do too much with origin stories. I mean, at least, yeah, they try to do something kind of different. We
I did thoroughly enjoy it. I thought it was. I can agree. There were some. It is kind of awkwardly paced in some points,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know. It's like a true hero's journey in a matter of 2 hours and 6 minutes.
Right.
Like, seeing it go from being like, you know, without peace, I wouldn't have a job, to actively trying to get in the way of bullets and shit.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
The only thing is, I forgot how much Tony Stark sucks in the beginning. Like, he absolutely sucks.
Yeah.
He sucks. He's
Yeah.
a fucking shitty human being. He's fucking horrible. The worst. I mean, it does say a lot, like, him almost dying has to be the reason, too. But like you said, hero's journey, you have to have a fall to go that. The only thing that kind of really pisses me off about Iron Man is not the movie itself. It's that we never get the fucking 10 rings or the Mandarin better.
Yeah, like, you never really see
the Mandarin is so cool. The Mandarin and the Ten Rings organization are such good villains. We kind of get them in 3 with a fake Mandarin. That's garbage. Also, Iron Man's weird. I think Iron Man is the strongest of the 3. Iron Man 1, 2, and 3.
I agree with that completely. I like what the other ones do for the story, but like objectively,
Yeah.
it is
It's the strongest. I think so. Which is weird because, like, I feel the opposite about the Thor movies. Like, I feel like 1 and 2 don't do it for me, but 3 is probably my favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even really care about the first 2 Thor. I didn't even give a fuck about Thor until he was an Avenger.
Right. I mean, until Taika Waititi got a hold of him in 3, I didn't care. Like, he went from being, I don't care about this character, to Ragnarok being like, I only want Thor going forward. Like, yeah. All right. So, I think general consensus, we like this movie. This movie was great. It's one of the better Marvel ones. It's good. I really enjoyed it. So, let us destroy it with whatever you guys voted on and make it worse. So, this part of the episode, Shane and I, thanks to you lovely folks at home, are going to come up with our own new version of this movie, either it being a sequel, a prequel, or a remake. And we also get to pick the genre. So, Shane, I don't, let's see. I have both of the straw polls open right now. Let's start with sequel, prequel, or remake.
I'm ready.
Oh god, we're remaking. I was worried that we were gonna have to remake this movie. My worry was I don't know who to cast other than fucking Robert Downey Jr. So we have it's a remake, and it's a mockumentary, which I can actually do. I think I have an idea for that. So I think we need. First off, start with this. I think we have to keep it an origin story. That's what Iron Man is. It's the beginning of the MCU. It has to lead into the greater Marvel universe. It also has to introduce us to Tony Stark, the character, and kind of go through his journey. I don't think we can take that out of the movie.
I agree completely. I am passenger seating this.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So for those who don't know mockumentary, it means that it is filmed in the style of a documentary, but it is not actually a documentary because it is not documenting a real life thing. Think Cloverfield.
So wouldn't this just innately be a mockumentary even if it was a documentary? Because it's not real.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's yes. So what we have to do here is the genre is we have to somehow tell the story of Tony Stark as if someone is investigating Tony Stark or investigating the 10 Rings. What if? Okay, I think I have a movie premise. So, because it is a mockumentary, someone is investigating the 10 Rings organization, which, for those who don't know, is the villain, the quote-unquote villain in Iron Man. And we find out they're not really the villain, but I think for our film, we make them the villain.
Yeah.
I think solidify him. We get the backgrounds of the Ten Rings. I think the interesting thing about the Ten Rings organization is that we even find out in Iron Man, like, these are a bunch of people from all over the world. You have Hungarians, you have people from Turkey, you have people from China, Korea. Like, that's what the Ten Rings organization is made up of. It is a terrorist organization that has no nationality, no specific place. It is a group of people, which they never talk about. Like, that's interesting. Like, the Ten Rings organization is a big enough organization that, like, a bunch of people around the world are joining it. So if it's a mockumentary, maybe it is the story of someone investigating the Ten Rings and the Mandarin, because fuck you, Iron Man, for not doing anything with Mandarin. In this movie, we're doing something with the Mandarin. And through that, like, you could still get Tony Stark's journey. Like, it could start off as, like, I'm kind of thinking like Blair Witch. Like, they go in, whoever's recording this documentary is going in, covertly infiltrating the Ten Rings, recording. Maybe they're in the same camp that Tony Stark is captured in, and they're like, oh shit, this is gonna be a great movie now. We have famous philanthropist, billionaire Tony Stark is now part of this.
AAA actor.
Yeah. So they start recording this, and obviously we'd get more exposition on the Ten Rings. The Ten Rings would be generally the focus, but, like, in the background, we see, like, maybe Tony Stark get captured. That's in some footage. We see the destruction. Maybe they filmed the destruction after Tony Stark, Iron Man, breaks out of the camp itself. They're like, holy shit, what's going on? And then it kind of also becomes a mystery because, or okay.
And he comes back and saves him.
Maybe, yes. Maybe chime in if you, whenever.
I mean, if he just left and it was just the rest was just a horror film and they just hang out in this cave and it's just them trying to live like normally. What? You know, the end of the movie, just like one person escapes saved by.
Iron. What if this is like more a horror mockumentary? We don't, like I said, maybe they don't learn who is captured. Maybe they infiltrate the group and they are going to arrive where the Ten Rings were keeping Tony Stark. And they're recording the aftermath. A bunch of people burnt dead and stuff. And they have their cameras, night vision, going through the tunnel. You see all the dead people and stuff. And the Ten Rings still have them captured. But it's also kind of... It's treating Iron Man not as a main character, but as this force of pure destruction. Because that would be the only times you would see Iron Man. Would be...
almost like the monster.
Exactly. He would be like the monster. He would be like the Cloverfield monster. You would have these people being with the Ten Rings, and then just you could hear gunfire, and things still walking. Like it's almost like that scene in Rogue One where Vader. I mean, it's not originally from Rogue One, but like Vader comes in and you get that shot. But it's Iron Man. And even risky, I don't think they'd ever do this in the MCU. You never find out who Iron Man is in the first one.
Oh, shit. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, you kind of Yeah, go ahead.
I like the idea of using, like, all the exact same audio from the normal Iron Man.
Yeah.
Right? Except our characters are just the next cave over.
Exactly.
And Iron Man, you know that point where he's like 16 steps and then turn left.
Yeah.
So like they would just be to the right, and they would just see a glimpse of like a huge metal man shooting flames out of his arms and people screaming and cooking.
Exactly. It would be rated R. I feel like it'd be rated R. Yeah, and I think we could. So if we're talking about this, because this has to set up the Marvel universe, and I mean that'd be a wicked way to start up the MCU as a mockumentary horror type of Blair Witch, a found footage Iron Man movie. I think with that you also set up the Mandarin.
Yeah.
And I think by doing that you also set up Phase 1's bad guy as the Mandarin. Because honestly the Mandarin could be, for those who don't know, the origin story of the Mandarin. He was this crime boss, evil. He finds 10 magic rings, 10 alien space rings that allowed him to change reality, shoot ice beams, fire beams, pretty much do everything. He is incredibly powerful.
man. Movie ends with him just executing the cameraman.
Exactly. With like you just see like maybe this hooded figure walk into his traditional green robes, a ring on each finger glowing, and then him just like lifting and kind of almost doing like a force thing. The camera shakes and just goes. Introduces the Mandarin. And if you introduce the Mandarin in the first Marvel movie, I mean Hulk. Sorry, Hulk. Like I liked you, Edward. I liked Edward Norton as the Hulk.
I love Edward Norton.
Yeah, but I think Ruffalo's the better Hulk for the MCU. Like,
different conversation. We're here for Iron Man.
Yeah, that is true. I think you set up the Mandarin. You get Fing Fang Foom. For those who don't know, we're gonna get into the Mandarin. Not the language. I'm not going to teach you Mandarin because I don't know it. But we're going to talk about Mandarin. Fing Fang Foom in the comics is a dragon. Not really a dragon. But the Mandarin thinks he's a dragon. Joins forces with him. That can be your that could be your Avengers villain is Fing Fang Foom, a giant dragon now. A mystical dragon. And then, I mean, in the comics, the Mandarin finds out Fing Fang Foom is not actually a dragon, but actually an alien trying to take over Earth. You get a Mandarin teaming up with the Avengers. Just give me the Mandarin. I know the Mandarin is coming. Okay, so the Mandarin is coming up in the next movie of the MCU, the Legends of the Ten Rings.
I don't know.
I think he is. I think the next movie is the Legends of the Ten Rings, which will be cool. It's either before or after the Eternals. But I think the first movie, found footage. We don't know who Iron Man is. We just, I think, stays in the cave, stays dark. Maybe they're trying to escape. Maybe Iron Man, because Iron Man kind of just like walks through the desert, then gets found.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of one of the weird pacing things. Is like he just gets there and then like with like a barely living heart, he like walks into the desert and is found.
Yeah,
that's one of the weird pacing things. I think maybe we put him deeper within the Ten Rings. We could even put him in China. I don't like place him there, maybe even in like a Mandarin or Ten Ring hideout. So then like you have the main people behind the camera trying to escape the hideout, and like every time they turn a corner, like there's people shooting, like and maybe they even think Iron Man is like the villain. Because like he's just murdering.
I would.
Yeah. These people are dying. I think at the end it would be great. Again, R-rated MCU. If we're going this way, the Mandarin executes. Mandarin arrives after Iron Man escapes. Maybe the camera crew is like, "Oh, thank you for saving us." And the Mandarin just 10 rings dead, disintegrates.
Oh man,
something.
Great. You think that Iron Man's the bad guy, but nope. Next movie, he's in red and gold. No more found footage. AAA film.
Yeah, I mean that would be like I said. If you did it this way, the MCU is different. They're not doing that. Yeah, the MCU is different if you do that. And what would be even crazier is I think if we're already going experimental found footage Iron Man, the movie isn't an Iron Man movie. Like the posters don't show Iron Man. The trailers don't show Iron Man. They just show a metal menace. And it's like the end. The end scene, you learn it's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's the MCU.
That is hilarious.
I think we totally just avoided recasting Tony Stark, which is amazing for because I don't know who you need to recast.
Yeah, no, there's no need to recast when you just rewrite the whole damn story.
Yeah, so you don't know him. You still get the origin story. He builds himself.
Although, I'll put this out there again in the same way that I did for Pedro Pascal and dang it. The girl that got cast as Ellie, whose name escapes me. Anyway, if anyone can think of a better Tony Stark than Robert Downey Jr., I want to hear about it in the chat. I want to hear about it in the Discord. Hit us up. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Be a better Tony Stark.
I don't know if better, but if we had to recast them.
Yeah, not even better.
2008, like, Johnny Depp.
Who would put on par?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
These are all viable options.
Keanu Reeves isn't a big douchebag.
I refuse to even make a statement on the matter because for those of you that know me know that I love the man. RDJ is my hero. He's a great man.
It would have to, yeah. There's a few castings that you can't change, and I think there's no Robert Downey Jr. just is Iron Man. I don't think you can. I don't think you can find anyone else that fits the role as well.
He just fits it so well. And
yeah,
he played it so well. And the thing about it is, I almost think of Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark as Bryan Cranston's Walter White. Right, you have the role. It's your role. You did it to the absolute max, and you did it to like completion. Unlike Terrence Howard, not. Sorry, waited the whole podcast for that joke. But point being, I do use that comparison because it makes sense. He played the role to its completion, to its bitter end. Like it or not, he did each part of it. Through Hugh Jackman is a similar example.
Oh god, someone says Tom Cruise is the new Iron Man. I refuse. Well, right, it's gonna be like X-Men because I mean, we have the X-Men coming to the Marvel universe very soon, maybe sooner than later because of WandaVision. You can't. I don't think you should recast Wolverine. Like, don't.
I mean, at this rate,
they're going to.
The way it's looking, I mean, they might. What if they just kept it all?
I don't think he wants to come back, though.
He said, I had heard at one point that he said that the only way he would come back would be if it were, like, in an Avengers title.
Oh, see, I've heard more that he just does, he's done with it.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But that's another perfect example. Like, he played his role to completion, and he just fits the bill so well. But yeah, on the note, I only mentioned his name one time. I do think it's a major flaw in this movie. I think Don Cheadle should have been casted off rip. I'm so glad that
I think Don Cheadle's a better better War Machine. Yes. Absolutely. I think Terrence Howard is awkward in this movie.
Yeah, I'm not trying to throw any shade, T.
I am.
Mr. Howard, like I'm sure you're out there listening to our super popular podcast. But I'm no disrespect, but I'm glad you got recast.
Yeah,
I
mean, Terrence Howard is a good actor. I just don't think he fit the movie. I think because War Machine is kind of like a sympathetic character and has sympathy. Like
Terrence Howard's kind of a dick.
Right. He just if you look at War Machine in all the other Iron Man movies and going forward, that's cool, man. But you're gonna get out of my chat. But yeah, I think. I think, yeah. I think Don Cheadle so much better. He plays the view.
Out of the role. And personally, another actor that I really enjoy outside of the MCU. I think he's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, I think Don Cheadle's pretty great when he does. I think there's just some actors that don't fit well in the MCU. I think Edward Norton wouldn't have fit well in the MCU, and I don't think Terrence Howard going forward. I couldn't see him in Civil War. I couldn't see Terrence Howard.
Right. Yeah, I don't think... See, now, let's... Quick, small one here at the end of the episode. If we did Civil War with a recast of Terrence Howard as War Machine, I wouldn't have cared when he got blasted out of the sky.
Right, exactly. Like, if the same War Machine was in it from first to a Civil War, agreed. I think. Same with, I could not see Edward Norton as Professor Hulk in Endgame. Right. Like, Edward Norton is also kind of a creepy-looking psychopath.
I love Edward Norton. Right. I think he's a fantastic actor. However, in Avengers 2, when he was blasting off to space, I would have literally looked over to my friends in the theater and been like, fucking thank God. I'm so glad that there's no more Hulk around.
Yeah, I just think...
I love the Hulk.
No, Edward Norton is a great actor. I agree. Like, he's really good at serious roles. I mean, I heard he's an awful person to work with. But because he is kind of... Like, his characters, I guess, aren't too off from him in personality, which, like...
he's actually a huge green rage machine.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like Edward Norton, but I think you're onto something. Like, there are some people that have been cast in the MCU that wouldn't have necessarily fit their role in terms of, like, longevity.
Yeah, like, okay, so... Fuck, who's Batman and Christopher Nolan? I can't... Why can't I remember?
Christopher Nolan's Batman was Christian Bale.
Like, he's about to be in the MCU. I mean, he's a great actor, but I also, like, it's weird to put him in the MCU. He is playing, what's his name? The God Killer. In,
Null?
Not Null. Null is the God. This is just the God Killer. I can't remember the name.
Okay, the symbiote guy.
Who holds the symbiote sword. He's not a symbiote, but actually I have to look this up.
Interesting. Well, see, but like in terms of that though, like he'd probably fit that specific role really well. Like,
I just have never seen Christian Bale do comedy, which I think that's where Iron Man is. I mean, like I said, he's Gore the God Butcher, so it's close.
I don't really think that Jared Leto is a good fit for the MCU either, but if somehow Morbius managed to make it over, I think that it would be good.
It'll be interesting. You know?
I
mean, like I said, Taika Waititi is reprising his role for directing Thor 4, so Ragnarok is my favorite MCU movie. All right, I think that's it. It's been like an hour. It's been a good hour. So, you ready to get out of here? Not really.
Yeah,
everyone in stream, we're still streaming after this, but
yeah, we're still hanging. But yeah, I'm ready to wrap up.
Let's wrap. Yeah,
just fuck it. We'll do it live.
Yeah, we'll do it live. Yeah. So that is the first episode, everybody. I hope you liked it. What are we streaming? Minecraft. Like I said, this is the first episode of the series, Iron Man. I don't know what movie we're gonna do next week. We'll figure that out behind the scenes. We're gonna try in the future letting everyone know what movie we're doing beforehand, so if you want to watch it with us and also kind of have a discussion with us, go ahead. But I don't know what movie we're doing next week. But this was episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let's do some plugs and get out of here. Shayne, want to start us off?
Yeah, you can catch me live at twitch.tv/bringtheshayne, which is weird to say because
that's where we are, yeah.
Right now. Also, we have a great podcast, which I'm sure is about to get plugged here.
Yeah,
anyway.
I was gonna plug it. Yeah. So, on my end, like we are streaming live right now. I'm at twitch.tv/farmgoat. Come check me out. I also have 2 YouTube channels. One is Farm Goat Plays, where all my gameplay and where this podcast is actually going to be. It's going to be on my Farm Goat Plays YouTube channel. And then if you want to hear me talk more in depth and more philosophical, I guess, and more, not that we don't talk things critical on this podcast, but more from like an actual kind of like academic critical route, you can go to Farm Goat Says, where I'll be talking about movies in that sense and also tabletop role-playing games. But Shayne and I also have another podcast called Survival Check, which is a D&D podcast where we are going through the monster manual, talking about the history of each of the monsters and how you can use them in your own game or not use them in your own game if you think.
Did you say except for the ink egg?
Yeah, I did say that. But that's it, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is us signing off. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Let's do a clap for end of recording. And that's that.